Rob Parker, and Jonas Knox in for Chris Broussard on this beautiful Friday in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. So visit geico.com for a free rate quote. What's going on, Jonas?
Nothing. Just hanging out, doing a show with Rob Parker in a Rob Parker shirt.
I mean, come on. Hey, Elijah, we got that on camera. Can we
better get this on camera right here.
Look
right
at
here.
this.
This is a 5X, too. Look at this. 5X, baby.
He's got a No Way, No How t-shirt,
Damn
which
right.
you can order at robparkershop.com. And the best part about it, Jonas isn't some of these guys who's got a handout. He actually spent money.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
This wasn't a freebie. He's like, my man Rob Parker is my man, and I'm going to support him.
I also paid for shipping and handling, only to have it delivered in a 99-cent store bag. Next day. So that's how you know it's owned and operated by Rob Parker. He shows up in an old grocery store bag.
He was like, wait a minute. I thought they were going to ship it.
I know. I was expecting a package with my name on it. Look, I'm old school. I like getting stuff in the mail. And Rob just shows up the next day with this grocery bag, and I'm thinking, what is this, trash? And I look inside, there's my shirt.
I just figured, let me save you a little time. You don't have to wait for it.
And then he charged me 10 cents for the bag. No, unbelievable.
Hey, whatever it takes. But I appreciate you, of course, because Jonas, really, thank you so much. Yes, if you want to get one of your own, you could go there and just check out the shop. robparkershop.com.
Yeah, again, and I said a 9X. This is 9X. A 9X.
Man,
I just fill it up.
You want an extra small.
I just fill it up.
The packs, and you know what I mean? Walk around.
Of course.
And have women and guys follow him in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Both.
And then you go to the frozen food aisle. It looks like you're hiding 2 shot glasses.
There you go. And we're going to start with the NBA, Jonas.
Yeah.
And let's do this. So we all know the story that's been out there about the Warriors. He's technically a minority owner, really an investor, and
you got to be careful there, because if you call him an investor, you're being soft.
Is that what it is?
Owner, investor? What are we talking about here?
He put up his money and he has a piece.
All right, that's fine. Investor, owner. I mean, a circus clown. Who cares?
Whatever you want to call him. But the bottom line is the league came down and they did it swiftly, right away, and they said basically that he's going to get. He got a 1-year ban and a fine of $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the commissioner, Adam Silver, he was really apologetic and blah, 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 blah. And he kind of, made a way for him. And here's my only thing. This is not real life when you talk about owning a sports team or being a part of that group. The difference is you have to be voted in. You could have more money than God. Mm-hmm. And they could tell you, you don't meet our qualifications. You're not who we want to own a team. It's not, I got more money than you, so I have to get a team. Doesn't work like that. Mm. And because of that, they are able to dictate the people who are connected with the league, who become owners in the league, and whatnot. And in this case, I think Adam Silver went soft. I really do. From this standpoint. And he's a players commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right? Nobody bends over for the players more than him.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I've said it, and I don't care who this pisses off, but he's a kiss ass for the players. I mean,
he is.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
And this is what he's done. And here is a situation where I think Adam Silver is being flip-floppy, soft, catering now to the owner. This guy, Stevens, he ain't no fly-by-night guy. What did they say? He's worth $2.6 billion with a B.
Yeah.
He's a big donor to USC. But they said he donated $100 million. It's not some dude with a couple of 20s rolled together.
And with USC, who knows where that money went?
Probably. Look at you.
Stay away from that. You just stay away from that.
I'm staying away from that.
Let me make those jokes.
All right. That's all good. But this is my thing. This is the same commissioner who made Donald Sterling sell his team despite not breaking any law, despite not doing anything out publicly, right? If he says those words out publicly, that's totally different from in your own home and your side piece is recording you secretly.
Yeah.
Illegally, to be honest. And yet they were so outraged. I mean, you remember how quick that was.
Yep.
And they could sit there and go, well, the NBA is going to stand for this and do the right thing and all that. But we also know that the players had threatened to not play playoff games, which would have cost them money. That's why they reacted the way that they did with the Donald Sterling thing. In this case, if there was a player, Jonas, who, I don't know, swung on, pushed a fan, what would have happened to a player who had a physical contact with a fan in the stand?
Well, wasn't Ron Artest was suspended for a year?
Yes.
I think it was suspended for a year.
And lost millions.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson, right?
And here's my whole thing on the situation. This guy, Mark Stevens, he's an idiot. Okay, he's an idiot. Why you're putting your hands on a player? I don't get it. And it's not like Kyle Lowry's out there jawing back and forth with Mark Stevens. It made no sense.
And Jonas, he went out of his way. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Lowry didn't fall on him or his wife.
So he's an idiot. He gets popped for a year. He's done for a year, and he gets fined $500,000. But here's what I want to ask you, because do you feel like the punishment should have been more?
I believe that they should have forced him to sell his interest in the Warriors. Okay. And only because if you saw the comments by Coach Steve Kerr, and who was it, Klay Thompson or another player, and they know that what that guy did would not be acceptable for a player to do, just to have physical contact. And we've seen the NBA come down hard, the fan in Utah, for talking, for John. He's banned forever from an NBA game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't swing on Westbrook. He didn't touch Westbrook. And you're telling me now that a ban of a year, and we also saw even in San Francisco, the Giants with the owner, remember he grabbed his cell phone from his wife?
Yeah.
What did he get? He got half a year with no pay. He didn't even, the same thing. There was no, he didn't hit her or push her. He grabbed his cell phone from her and she fell from her chair.
Here's my thing. If I were running the league, yeah, the guy'd be gone forever. I can't stand heckling. I don't like it. It's dumb. Stop making yourself part of the show. And that was unnecessary. But got popped for a year, got fined $500,000. There are worse things in the world than that guy not getting having to sell his team and all that. I think we're getting so worked up over this instead of just saying, look, it's done with. Let's focus on the finals, and then he'll be back in a year from now, and he was very contrite. I'd also like to see how contrite he was. Adam Silver swears up and down this guy was so contrite. I'd love to see how contrite he actually was. Let me throw a what-if scenario at you, because I think this factored into it. If this had happened when Adam Silver had just taken over the league, just like the Donald Sterling incident, and the Donald Sterling incident took place now, I think we would have seen the same thing happen. Adam Silver used that Donald Sterling incident as his introduction to the league that I'm not going to put up with this stuff. And I think, to your point, where a lot of that stuff was said in private and all of that Adam Silver went above and beyond and forced him to sell his team.
Because Donald Sterling didn't break any law.
No.
He didn't?
No. I mean, and look, everybody...
Whether you agree or disagree with what he said... He didn't break any laws, and I always stand there and say that.
And everybody that's lived in L.A. or covered the Clippers know it's the worst kept secret in the league. The guy's a weirdo, walking into the locker room, like checking stuff out. Like, what are you doing? What
are you saying? A pecker checker?
I know. Just like you hear these stories that come out, like it's like he's running around, like looking at gas pumps all day. Like, what are we doing here? It's bizarre. It's really weird. But that's what all that weird stuff has been surrounding Donald Sterling for years and years. I think Adam Silver, if there was any sort of, if he wanted to be consistent on it, I think that he would have taken this guy's right, forced him to sell the team, his share in the team, whatever you want to call it. I think Adam Silver just showed you that the Donald Sterling incident was him trying to show everybody that, look, I'm here for the players. It's like you say a bunch of things to get into office, and then once you get into office 4 years later, they're like, well, wait a second, gas prices are still skyrocketing. What's happening here?
Right.
You told us this. I think that was his introduction, and I don't think he was as inclined to do something about this, although I agree he should have.
But is that because, is it a money factor as well? This guy is a big money guy. You know what I mean?
Man, they make enough money. Look, the guy put his hand on a player for no reason. Kyle Lowry didn't do a damn thing wrong.
And what would have happened if Kyle Lowry would have, not knowing who he was, nobody knew that guy was a billionaire sitting there or that he was a part owner. In the beginning, it was just the fans.
Yeah, if he would have cracked him.
If he would have turned around once the guy touched him and broke his jaw, what would have been happened?
I mean,
these NBA players are wilding. They're out of control.
I would have had no issue with it. Sorry.
But that's what they would have said. Like, what was that? The guy just barely touched you, and you knocked him out.
I mean, and here's the. I think this guy's been so embarrassed. I would be shocked if he actually showed back up on a sideline. I'd be stunned if he actually showed back up. I think he's done. And whether he ends up willingly doing it, I mean, you saw who was Joe Lacob's wife was leaning over asking Jay-Z what he wanted to drink.
Right,
and
for a drink order, and it was the end of the world.
Yeah, and she got death threats. What do you think this guy is going to get? So I think he's done. I don't think you'll ever see him on a sideline again. And while I agree I would have done more than the 1-year ban and the $500,000, I'm not going to lose sleep over it and just be outraged. And I think so many people are taking the outrage approach when there are worse tragedies in the world. This really isn't that big of a deal.
I agree with that. It's not the end of the world, but my point is you got to have a consistency if you're going to run an organization.
And that's 100% on Adam Silver.
That's Adam Silver.
Yep.
Which one is it? Roger Goodell has made a mess of the NFL time and time again. Oh, wait a minute. Ray Rice, you get a 2-game suspension. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see the video. Oh, you can't play in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like he's all over the place.
I'm telling you, if you swapped this one with the Donald Sterling, I'm talking about timelines, this guy would have been kicked out of the league, forced to sell, and who knows what would have happened with Donald Sterling. I'm telling you.
It is amazing in that standpoint. So I think that's why I think they went soft. I don't know, if some owners called up and say, don't do that to him. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure. Donald Sterling works for the owners, not for the players, even though he's a player-friendly commercial.
And Adam Silver. And also, look, how do we know there wasn't some backlash from owners when he forced Donald Sterling to sell? Maybe owners told him, listen, we understand you had to do it, but come on, that's a bit much. And maybe he was sort of had his hands tied in this regard to where they said, look, we let you do it with the Donald Sterling stuff, but we're entering a treacherous territory to where if we're just taking away ownership because of incidents like this, then we're going down a path to where we're giving the players way too much control. Maybe he had owners in his ear telling him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I believe that could have been the reason. Because they looked at it and said, if I do something, you know what I mean? I'll be the next one. If I get a DUI or I get, situation. Right. But we've seen some NFL owners be forced to sell, down in Carolina, right? Carolina Panthers after that.
Jerry Richardson.
But that was with the sexual stuff going on in the office and touching and whatnot. So I'm just this year. I was disappointed in Adam Silver. I thought he was going to do what was right, which is saying, dude, thank you. We know you were a part of this before, but we can't have that. You sent a bad message out there, and now we're in a bad spot, even with the players who now are like, if I did that, I'm in trouble.
Look, I think we're both coming from different avenues and ending up in the same spot, which I know Robert Guerre, our executive producer, loves it when we agree on stuff. It's his favorite thing in the whole world.
He's got his thumb down.
Yeah, he loves it when
he only hopes that there was some ranch dressing in front of him.
But I think that our instincts on this are going to end up being correct. Adam Silver is just showing you he's not being consistent, and he had an opportunity and he blew it. So there's that.
So you're basically saying Adam Silver needs a blue pill as we speak. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, come on now.
Okay. Did the NBA go soft on the Warriors minority owner, Mark Stevens? We'll continue the conversation with you.